Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Then let's go.
Let's go. Today we're here at the Carmel Doll Shop and I'm with my dear friend Judy Lloyd. I'm Mary Senko and we're going to be talking about bathing babies. And to get us in the spirit, the first thing we're going to do is get into our white premium Turkish bathrobes.
Okay. Ooh, and they're so cozy.
They're so cozy and warm. Yes, they're so cozy and warm. Yours fits you better.
Mine's smaller.
We are really excited to be able to talk to you about how important it is when you're setting up your displays, the message that you're conveying. And today, our message, of course, is bathing babies. And we're going to be taking this wonderful array of material and building a display to give you some ideas in your own home and at doll shows such as the World Doll Day shows when you come to work at one of our shows to sell your merchandise, how to build a display that's going to convey a message.
Convey joy. Convey excitement.
Excitement. Fun.
Fun. Something fun. Something that people want to come and look at. Something that is interesting. And when you leave, you go, oh, I learned something. It works. Okay, so where should we start?
Well, we've got our bathrobes on, but you know when you're going to take a shower, you need a bath mat.
That's true.
So we're going to get our bath mat up and get it laid on our display.
So you lay out your foundation first.
Yes.
Get your idea.
You lay your foundation
And that's a
out.
nice contrast. So your items will look good.
And bathing babies, bathing dolls, we're going to have a bathtub.
A bathtub would be nice.
I mean, we're here at the Carmel Doll Shop. I wonder if we could find one.
I don't know. Oh, look. There's one down here.
There's one right here.
And it has a bathing beauty in it.
So our centerpiece today is going to be this wonderful bathtub. And we're going to get some bathing bubbles in it to get started with our concept. Now, one of the things that we've done with this is we've taken a box and set it on the inside of the tub, because if we're building a display, we want people to be able to see the items that we're displaying. And so with that, we've got a box to lift up our dolls. There you go, it almost went on the floor. If we have a beautiful bathing doll that sits all the way down, we're not going to see it. But this way, we can get that baby in there, and now we see how fantastic that bathing doll really is. One of the things that's very interesting is that oftentimes people have thought of these dolls as frozen Charlottes, or frozen Charlies in this case. The proper term is actually Bodkinder, which is very interesting because it's a bath doll.
Right. Okay.
And we're going to have more bathing going on.
Right.
So what are some of the materials we have here?
Well, before we start that, I think we should work on our background.
Exactly.
We have a background.
We have more to convey.
And because we have bath towels, everybody has bath towels and face cloths, and you have a backdrop of some sort, it's so simple to just put on casually just a bath towel, hand towel. Kind of gives the impression it's the bathroom, it's a bathing area. It works.
That's right.
Okay.
And we never worked in merchandising at Macy's or anything else, but doesn't this make sense that if we want to convey a message, we need to go all in that message?
Oh,
right?
absolutely. You have to, your message is all there, all uniform. So everybody has the same idea behind. So you can use anything. As you see, we have multiple screens here that don't really depict bathing, but once you hang a towel on it or something, it works great. So.
And one of the things that when we were setting our display and starting our display, oftentimes tables, when you do a doll show, such as a World Doll Day show, we offer draped tables, and there'll be black linens or black drape or burgundy tops and black drape, and you walk up to it and you think it's black, but in all actuality, how would this look? Great. The contrast, we need the contrast to show it off.
And have a little humor. This particular bathing beauty here has put too much soap in, so now we have an overflow, which is kind of fun.
That's right.
So the kids who will come will say, "Oh, look, it's overflowing.
It's
fine.
overflowing, just
Okay.
like when I take a bubble bath at my house.
Yes, yes.
With the dogs.
Yeah, so, okay, so where should we go next? Got that up, okay, perfect. So normally I think we should start, which would be safety for this factor, is the big stuff should go in the back.
I agree with that.
So let's find our bigger Charlies.
We're gonna adjust this just a tad bit.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, one of the things that I like to do when I'm doing a display is I like to step back. So Judy, can you step back and take a look at this and see, how are we doing with uniformity in our
Well,
display?
I think we should cover up the corner of that particular screen.
Okay.
I think the fabric is kind of a uniform. You could have wallpaper in your bathroom that looks similar, so that's not as, how could I say, not as eye taking away or whatever the word would be.
Distracting.
Distracting,
visually
there you go, distracting. So I think we're okay. And besides, we don't want the focus on what we're doing in the background. We want it on the items that we're displaying.
Right here in the middle.
Right.
And why are we starting in the middle anyway?
Well, the middle is usually your focus point. So
Right.
this is where you want your main thing that depicts the theme of your display. So, and the bathtub, the large Charlie, perfect. So now we'll fill in with other things such as,
The soaps and some of our bathroom accessories.
and these are things that you have in your home if you're doing this type of thing. But look in your house. It's amazing what you'll find that will work for your display. You don't have to go out and buy a lot of things. Just pick out things that go with your theme. So we have found soaps.
We have found other little bodkinders. And this piece, this figurine is exquisite. And I love the rose tint coloring, and this woman is bathing her feet, and I just think this is absolutely charming.
And what if we were to make it a little more interesting and put in another one, just to add a little bit of extra pizzazz?
I love it. So
Okay.
she's not only bathing her feet, maybe she's bathing her baby.
Right.
I love it. I love it. They're just charming, just charming. And we can set her there, and we can fill in. Do you need a lift?
I think a lift would be nice.
So having something that's inexpensive,
Just a
like
cardboard
a
box.
cardboard box, that could become a table for you or a lift on the display, adds a lot. And these are inexpensive to
just-
find.
Right.
And now we're gonna put a towel over it, and now we have another place to display. So we're creating some uniformity here. We're creating uniformity
need a
with our
stand.
display. We're going to put the white piece over there. We're gonna put our wonderful Bubble Bee soap. But the white on white is hard to see visually. So we're going to open this up and slide the lid on, which is quite lovely. And now we have another little element that's interesting that kind of gives some contrast, because we don't want our white babies to disappear. And that's a shoe. We've all heard of the little old lady in the shoe
Lady in the shoe has
with
so
her
many
babies.
children.
And she has a
Lots of
ton
babies
of
in there.
babies in there. And what's interesting is that oftentimes people have looked at the badkindas and they've thought, and I'm probably not saying that properly, badkinders.
Bad kinders.
Badkinders. They
And
have,
it is bad.
it's bad.
Okay,
It's
meaning
not
naughty, but it's actually the word for bath.
bath
in German.
They've often, walked by these little beauties. And it's quite interesting. They were little penny dolls at the time, and they could be made into what this was a little pin wipe. These were little ones that might have stuck into something, such as our little old lady with a shoe, or been a pocket doll that would have gone in a pocket. And we have two rare ones that are part of the Grovian Doll Museum collection. We have a bonnet doll that has a molded on bonnet that's absolutely exquisite.
And look at this one, Mary. This one is incredible.
I love that one. I love the jester hat and the boots and his toes. He's
so
in
tiny.
little slipper toes.
Yeah,
I
just
love
darling.
them. So if we're going to be displaying some of these little ones, we might think about even finding ways for them to stand out in our display. So putting them where they're not all gathered with others and they have a place to go, such as
What
here
if we
and
use
here.
this, Mary? We have a specific riser
Love that.
that
We
would
could
give
do
us,
that.
give us a little bit more height
And-
for maybe the small ones.
Right, and actually individualize out.
And put in the small items.
Put them in
Yeah.
and place them. One of the things that's really interesting about this, Judy, is that not only is what we're doing here relevant for your home,
And just try things out. Don't be, you may not get it right, and just kind of rearrange, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, try something else.
Try something else. But one thing that I love about this whole concept is that dolls as fundraisers, if we're going to be, we gotta put some bubbles over here. If we're going to be getting people interested and excited in a topic, even people like me that are not the,
How fun that one
I love
is.
that.
Isn't that amazing?
Are not the
How did they
creative-
ever do that?
I
It's
know,
amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, we're gonna put that one right there in the middle.
And these are interesting. Look at these.
This one, I don't want it to fall
These
over.
are actually banks. So there's a little bit more to some of these bathing
love
beauties.
that.
And so they have a little
Patented Germany.
slot in the back. And they are frozen Charlies, or frozen Charlottes.
Right, but we're not calling them that.
No, they're Baden Kinder.
And it's not Baden.
Bod Kinder.
Ann Coleman is here.
Yes.
And we're filming in front of her and we're both nervous
Yes,
as all
I
get
know.
out. But it's Bod Kinder.
Bod Kinder.
Okay, we're
We don't
going to
speak
get
German.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
but anyway,
well,
but they're banks.
yeah,
and
but aren't you German? You're Swedish.
I'm
Just-
Norwegian.
Okay, well, I'm German, and I had a German great-grandmother, but I never really heard her talk
Oh,
much.
that's okay. And I asked Michael, because I was curious, how do you get the money out of here? Do they just break them? Of course, that was not a good thing to ask. You just take a little knife, apparently, you just stick it and the money just falls out. I didn't know that. So they're kind of fun. They're not easy to find. They are out there, but they are very unusual.
I think
So-
the rare things, when you can add something special, unique, and rare into a collection, it just makes it more fun.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that many of our guests that are joining us for the World Doll Day Celebration program, Fundraising with Dolls, probably have read about John Darcy Noble. And John Darcy Noble was a great one for the shell art. He collected dolls inserted inside of shell art. And I especially fell in love with this piece when
This
I
is
saw
beautiful.
it here at the Grovian Doll Museum collection, where you can see
Inside there, she is holding a frozen Charlotte. It's a
Bad
I'm
Kinder.
Sorry. Old dog's new tricks. Yes. I know, it's okay.
Bud Kinder.
Bod Kinder.
Okay, so anyway, I love this display and how unique and wonderful it is, and it's actually been held together this whole time with this wonderful braid and doesn't come apart. Treasures like this we want to really highlight and display properly, and it gives the message that we've got something that's high quality that we're doing. We're doing something high quality and exciting and interesting. And here's another one of the little bonnets.
So the little ones display well, and it also keeps them safer if you do put them on something. So it keeps them together, and so they're less apt to be knocked over and moved. So this is a good thing also.
I like that. I like that. We've got a few more here that are quite interesting that we want to show our audience today. One of the groups that I am absolutely enchanted with are our dark colored bodkinders. That this one has been dressed with a simple cotton calico, and though it has there's a little broken foot, it does not diminish how unique and rare it is to find these dolls that have the level of detail in their hair. They have a high level of detail with their eyes and so forth. They're quite lovely. And if we want to build a display with things that are exciting, isn't it fun to be able to insert
a little bit of everything.
a little bit
Yeah.
of color into something? And I love this
These
one.
are beautiful.
They're beautiful. I love that one with the little bathing
It's
suit
got
on. His
a
little
molded
bottoms,
suit on it. Yeah.
Little bathing suit, and again the molded hair, more of a mulatto color to the skin, This being really, really dark. And then, of course, we have a very unusual, unique one here with more of that rose tint again that really sets this doll apart.
And there will be, I understand, a program that Ann Coleman will be telling us about more history of these. Am I correct?
Yeah.
There you go. So Ann's going to be, so look forward to that. You'll see that on the YouTube. And so on the web, so be sure and check out more information so we know more
Be
about
watching
them.
more.
Yeah.
And hey, wait a minute. What if we take this little
Oh, that's a good
wash
idea.
tub? So this is a little wash
And
tub
put them in here?
that we found in the shop today that has a darling little image. It's actually one of those things that little treasures tucked into the cabinets in the shop. And the little girl is sitting there in a wash tub to get her bath. And we have a couple of others that we're going to pull out and put up that we brought close. And
Pumpkins in here.
I love again this fabulous rose tint coloring. It's just wonderful. And look at the fingernails on this one and the toenails. And I have to be honest, I actually wasn't like raving excited about, oh, okay, you want me to do a program in a bathrobe, and talk about this, but I am super excited now because I have learned so much about these that the displaying things properly, setting up a set really makes a big difference and creates interest and excitement for something. So we've got
It tells a story.
tells a story.
It all
and
tells
we've
a
got
story.
our bath items that we're gonna place that actually filled this concept out. I've got another little tiny baby one over here. And these are quite darling. Now I wanna start hunting for these and find them.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
so great.
They are. They're
And
beautiful.
we're gonna make
Oh, and here's another
our-
one. Here, we missed this one. This is a beauty.
We wanna make our little black one stand out, so we're gonna put a white one in.
Good idea.
So
Good
the
idea.
black one stands out. And the one that it was extremely rare and wonderful is this one that has the trunks with the turban cap. Very rare, very unique, quite fun. We're gonna set this one over here. And we're gonna lay them down. We're actually gonna find some stands while we're here at the shop to put this together to make sure that they're secure. And our last, again, little tiny minis with red boots. I want to point out the red boots and the lacing on this one is fantastic. Fantastic.
But when you make a display like this, the depth and how they vary, it all tells a story. So you cannot walk through, and anybody coming through here automatically will understand this display is about bodkins. Am I saying it right again?
Bodkinder.
Bodkinders.
We're gonna
So-
get that.
Maybe, but anyway, that is the idea. When you make your display, you're going to tell a story, you're going to show interest, and they're not going to wonder what it is. They're going to know exactly what you're displaying and what you're selling, or the message that you want to convey to whoever is looking at it. So that's very important as to how you do this.
So let's bring it all down. Let's bring it all down to the 1, 2, 3 for doing displays that are gonna help us fundraise, help us convey a message.
And these were fundraisers. I don't know if you were aware of that, but these were used highly for fundraising. So that's also a story that can be told with these.
That's awesome. So, how do we set our display up? What is our message? And what ultimately are we going to do with our items, our collections in our homes, and so forth? So, we're here today, again, to put together this display to talk about a topic, bodkinder. But at the same time, if I were going to be selling things, I am now basically telling what my goal is by including items in this display that send that message that this is a bathing doll. This was a doll that was also could be used as a fundraiser. People would pick them up for pennies, dress them, fix them, and use them for party favors, fundraiser items
yes.
at events. You could just see something like this at a sanitary fair even.
I think
something
that's
like
where
that.
they were used. I think
Right.
that was one of their biggest exhibits.
Now, if my goal is to do a doll show, we've talked about if I'm going to work with Mary and me and do a doll show and be a vendor at my show, I can get some simple, easy to find materials to create some real interest with my booth. If I have items such as the bodkinder that I want to sell, I could create a section here that basically talks about that. I could create another section that might have some simple, inexpensive flowers and some of these lift up boxes that we just talked
And you
about.
can also, Mary, use soaps. Because you now have soaps, which is part of your display, and there's nothing wrong with putting a doll on
a soap.
And
That's
there you
right.
have a very inexpensive, easy lift for
Lift
something. So
for
there's
something.
lots of things that if you just use your little imagination once in a while, you can come up with all kinds of things that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. It's probably all in your house, and it's wonderful.
That's
So,
right. It's
I mean,
a little.
these you can pick up, at a lot of different places. So
That's what we're going to use.
yeah,
Stable.
and they really depict the story, so they're great.
That's right. And
So-
thirdly, if I'm going to be putting together a display, what did we learn here? We start with some foundation items.
And don't be afraid of using a darker base.
Yes.
People say, oh, I don't want a black or I don't want a burgundy. That's not true, because look at how nicely this contrasts now, and it really draws your eye in because we're using white on top of it.
Right.
So-
and don't be afraid to use the bath mat that came from
Your house.
Don't be afraid
Towels
to
from your
use your
bathroom.
towels from your bathroom.
Yes.
You don't have to have a lot of money.
No, you don't.
To be able to convey a message.
Right.
You don't have to have a lot of money to start being a vendor at a doll show.
No, you do not.
You
No.
just have to have the desire and a little bit of creativity. Head to the dollar store, find some simple boxes
Right.
that could be folded and put together for your risers, and you're good to go.
So start out with your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s. What kind of message that you want to bring in your display? Maybe start with originally, what kind of dolls or what are you going to be selling if you want to do a table? After you figure that out, then go to your message. What theme do you want to do? And then work from there. And you can probably walk through your house and just get what you need. It's amazing what's there.
We took a few minutes after we had been talking about our program, and we decided to step back and take a look at our display. Because when we're at a show, when we're setting up a fundraising event, when we're doing a display in our own home, we all step back, don't we, Judy?
You have to step back and look at it as a perspective as the person who is coming to either purchase your items or just wants to see what you have display in your home. So look at it how they would see it, and that you can pick out all kinds of things that you can change up and fill in the holes, and it's a whole different view. So definitely step back.
Step back.
And then bring your things in. Just bring all your little goodies in. And we, as you see, we've brought a lot new things in here that we didn't have originally. We kind of rearranged the balance, and it works better. So that.
It does. It's amazing. And we took a few minutes and we realized that we had a ton of bad kinder that were naked, but we had some that were different.
Whoops. Sorry about that.
We had some that were different. And so we put them together in a little display case.
Yeah, whoops, and added some soaps. Don't knock over the babies like I'm doing.
We added some soaps to make it interesting and fun. And we created another little display. And these are simple little cases that can be found at Michael's and Hobby Lobby to be able to display your things. They're not overly costly. And again, you can create a magnificent effect with simple materials that you're finding in your home that you can find at some craft shops and display shops and make something wonderful.
Yeah.
So we want to step back and look at our effect. And when we do all this, the most important part beyond anything
It's to have fun.
to have fun. To have fun. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy our dolls. Let's enjoy the World Doll Day celebration event and
look forward to Ann Coleman's talk on
talk.
these dolls and learn more about them.
Learn more about them. We want to thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank
and
you.
Giving us this opportunity to be with you today.
Yes. Thank you.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.